Alrighty, you guys, welcome. Welcome back to the live streams. I am here with my friend and guest, Super Mario Hoops 24, who is live from his phone. He had some technical difficulties tonight, but he's making it work because he's a good friend of the channel. And I wanted him on here to help me break down this strange Suns and Lakers game. So, Super Mario Hoops, how you doing, man? And what awesome t-shirt are you wearing?
Well, to start with the T-shirt, it's pretty awesome. Like you
Yep,
said, Basketball Hall of Fame got this over the summer.
love it.
Um, I mean, I'm doing pretty good because obviously it's always good when the Lakers lose.
Facts.
But and obviously my Bulls, they just got a piece of the Lakers too the other night. So I mean, we're doing pretty good right now.
Good,
I
man.
mean, in terms of today, probably not the best day. I've had a lot of better days. Not gonna lie, because to start off, like at work, I was basically doing everything on my own. It was one of those days, like where
I
people
feel you.
call off, and then I came home and like my car battery died,
Oh,
and I was like, bro, like not now,
right.
it was just bad. So now I'm kind of nervous because I got to drive to work again tomorrow. But uh, I don't know. I think it should be fine at least for the rest of this week. Um, Christmas miracles.
Yeah, amen to that, brother. Well, sorry to hear that, man. I hear you on the the rough days at work when you're by yourself. You at least you feel like you're all by yourself because you're doing all the work. I hear you on that. I can relate to that. Hang in there, man. I hope your car gets fixed and hopefully you have some Christmas miracles on the way. And hopefully everybody watching has some Christmas miracles on the way. Happy holidays to you guys. It's almost Christmas time. It is Christmas time. It's almost Christmas, I should say. And the Phoenix Suns get another W. That's why I'm rocking my awesome Suns Santa hat covered by my headphones. And you know what? I'm in a good mood tonight, man. Kind of talking at a lower volume because I was under the weather a couple of days ago. Plus, I got some family members that need to be up early tomorrow. So if my energy isn't where it's supposed to be, that's why. But no excuses. Play like a champion. They're not here to hear about our personal problems. They are here to to for us to break down this Suns and Lakers game. And like I said earlier, this was a weird Suns and Lakers game. The Suns made the Lakers look good in the first half of the game. And then the Suns kind of woke up. But you know what, man? I'm going to sound biased here. I'm going to sound, chippy. I'm going to sound spicy. It's because the Suns couldn't make a shot to save their lives tonight. That's why this game
Yep.
was closer than it was. And you know what? I'm going to give you some expert analysis on the Lakers right here now. You ready for this? The
Here we
Lakers just
go.
the Lakers just aren't that good. That's my expert analysis. So
I-
what
I'll add to it. Not only are they not good, they suck. They just suck.
so
They're
what were your
horrible.
thoughts on tonight's game? Just your initial reaction. Just give me all the smoke, man. I want to hear it.
I mean, being that I expect out of these two teams, like in the first quarter and even parts of the second quarter, I thought the Suns came out a little bit slow, like
Oh
a little
yeah.
bit lethargic.
We'll talk about that.
But I mean, I wasn't really worried considering, what is the tale of these two teams over the course of the season? One's top of the Western Conference and the other one's struggling. I mean, simple as that. And then I don't know, it's just like I saw a lot of like from the Suns, like you said too. And I don't know, like I'm starting to think there's like some conspiracy in the NBA going on with the Lakers, and they got to be doing something to the other team's hoop in the first half because
Facts.
this is like the fifth or fourth game in a row. It happened against my Bulls. We couldn't hit a three the whole first half. Happened against the Timberwolves on Friday, and then it happened a week ago, or not a week ago today, but last Wednesday against Dallas. Like, dudes, there's something fishy going on there. I'm telling you. But I mean, realistically, I think also part of it was to start the game like Mikal Bridges. Like, he can't he can't be Tony Allen out there.
Right.
Like, yes, we know he's playing great defense, but he can't just be irrelevant on offense. I think he's better than that. He's capable of more than that, and he started to pick it up in the second half. But that's kind of like one of the biggest issues. And the Suns did pretty good early on, like feeding Aiton, but I've said this multiple times. Like it seemed like they just slowed down again and they didn't want to keep feeding him, especially when Anthony Davis isn't playing. And you got guys like DeAndre Jordan and stuff like that in the game. Like I think they were playing LeBron at the 5 multiple
Yep.
times. Like you got to give him the ball until like it's proven that he, isn't going to get that look. And he started the game like what 7 for 7. He didn't even miss a shot until like the third quarter. So I don't know. But yeah, like obviously, like the Suns, they played better games this year. Obviously, a win is a win, and seems
Yeah.
like they didn't really play great, but still won by 18. But again, it's the Lakers.
They didn't play great, but they didn't play terrible either. I've seen worse performances. And when our friend Reliable Rants, who's a huge Lakers fan, who's been on this channel multiple times, is confirming to us that they suck and that Frank Vogel should go on a spiritual vacation and never come back, then
I bet that's what he's doing right now, because they had Dave Fizdale, out there.
then that the Lakers are not good. And I'll never forget it, man. I was listening to Worldwide Rob's like radio show or whatever, and all these Lakers fans were calling into his show. And usually I like to troll Lakers fans, but that night, I think this was like a double overtime loss to the Kings or something like that. This was the one night where Lakers fans were speaking facts. And this wasn't that long ago. They were just ripping the Lakers to high heaven. And I'll never forget this one Lakers fan said it perfectly. He was like, the Lakers are just a bunch of names. We're not good at anything. I will never, ever forget that, man. And you know what? I think you might be onto something with that conspiracy theory, because the Suns, to start this game, I will give the Lakers credit with this. They kind of punched us in the mouth early. They were aggressive. They were playing good. They were actually hitting their shots.
Well, they did have a lucky spark early
exactly.
on. I will say.
LeBron was LeBron. I mean, finished the night with 34 points, 13 from 19 from the field, 7 boards. But sometimes when the Suns get punched in the mouth early, they kind of don't have the best games. But like we normally do, we picked it up in the third quarter, and then you could make the argument that after the fourth quarter wasn't really a ball game. The Suns kept the lead, and they just closed it out when it mattered. And like I told you, I didn't even really watch the final 3 minutes because there was nothing to watch. Right when LeBron went out, we brought in Jalen Smith and Ishwain Wright. The game was over. So,
yeah. And I mean, that's, I was just going to say, like, that's another thing too with the Lakers is that, I mean, we've seen it in the past 19 years over certain occasions. Like, there's these games where it's like LeBron will be LeBron, and then all the other guys are not playing up to that standard. I think this is probably the first game this year where it's like, like LeBron played great and the team was significantly better with him on the court and then significantly worse with him off the court.
Yeah.
Like their top 3 shooters today were, that played, like the guys that you'd expect them to make shots from the perimeter and stuff.
Shots.
Isaiah Thomas, Carmelo Anthony, and Wayne Ellington. Those guys combined were 4 for 22.
Yeah.
And they were 2 of, I believe, 14 from 3. And that's not even including like
and
Taylor
the Lakers
Horton-Tucker.
Only made 7 threes total.
Not even including Taylor Horton-Tucker. I mean, he went 0 for 8 from 3 and 1 of 13 from the field. Like, you're not going to win a lot of those games. The difference, though, is that they don't have quite as many guys where you would expect them to make those shots. Like, yeah, you'd expect Melo to shoot better and maybe Wayne Ellington, but they're pretty inconsistent as well. Like, let's be honest. Like, some of these guys in the Suns, I think Cam Johnson's one of the most consistent players in the league.
Especially as of late.
Yeah, so, I mean, if he were to have a bad night, he played good today, but that would be extremely rare,
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up right there. I mean, I'm looking at the shooting numbers for the Lakers. Like, Wayne Ellington was 1 for 4. Taylor Horton-Tucker, 1 for 13. Melo 2 for 7. The list goes on and on. And don't get me
And
wrong,
the
the Suns
Suns do
couldn't. Yeah.
have those guys like Landry Shamet.
uh,
For
your boy Landry Shamet, future Chicago Bull.
one
Landry.
for 5 today from the field. 0 of 3 from 3. Yikes, bro.
And you know what?
Just
Like, again, the Suns as a team couldn't even get a 3-pointer to save their life. But I posted the clip on Twitter where the Lakers were playing just horrific defense, and the Suns just kept shooting because the Lakers were leaving wide open. Now, granted, I get it. You know, the Suns couldn't make a shot to save their life, but the Lakers leaving them that wide open, go ahead and shoot it. And even though the Suns, I think, shot 29% from 3, it just felt a little more different, probably because Devin Booker had 6 threes tonight. Devin Booker was great tonight. You know, he didn't start off the game that great. He had a couple bad turnovers. I thought he kind of was taking too many attempts. I don't know if he was trying to get the spotlight effect or whatever, but Booker showed up when it mattered, and that's all that mattered. And I've said this before lots of times. Like, if Devin Booker can have like 24 points like he did tonight, or 25, and we still win the game, that is huge. That just shows the depth of this team. And man, you know, we had a lot of solid performances tonight. You know, not the best Chris Paul game, but not terrible. He had 11 and 9. DeAndre Ayton, don't get me started on DeAndre Ayton was great tonight. I tweeted this earlier. He saved us. He legit saved us. He was great on defense. He was solid on offense, because you were kind of talking about how the Suns did go away from him attacking the basket at one point. But I swear to God, he saved us in that first half. He had a shot like midway through the fourth quarter and then ran down the court smiling. Like, it was just a great game from DeAndre Ayton tonight. So what did you see from DeAndre Ayton?
I mean, like I said, from the jump, he was probably like the best player to open the game for the Suns. Seems like he always is. And then, like you said as well, like like they go away from him. His defensive presence was pretty big today, especially like when the Lakers were kind of going small and attacking the basket and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how many times like Westbrook went in there like so out of control, but like I feel like the thing with Aiden is like you said, like Chris Paul, like these guys. I mean, Devin Booker even had 7 assists tonight. Like, they're usually like getting him involved early in the game, but again, like they don't have like true backup center that gets a lot of minutes. I know JaVale McGee does get like about quite a bit, but not quite to the extent of like Cameron Payne and Cam Johnson, these other guys off the bench. And those guys don't really get him involved. Like, I'm looking here, this is I feel like every time we go live, we're talking about a game where Cameron Payne has more shot attempts than Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And he's playing less minutes and he has less assists and he has more turnovers. So that's all bad, you know? Like, I don't know, like, it just seems like they don't really get him involved quite as much. I don't know if maybe the Suns fans would agree. I don't know if you'd agree, but that's just kind of like what I'm seeing. I feel like Cameron Payne, and it's not just him, but like even like, yeah, not trolling here, but like Landry Shamet sometimes did as well. And maybe even like Cam Johnson could upgrade that aspect to his game, like looking more for his big man. But I don't know. I think that like he probably should have ended tonight with like 30 points realistically.
Right.
But again, like it's hard to do that when you only get 11 shots. You're not really playing from the 3-point line. You only get 1 free throw attempt. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably Monty Williams and whatever offensive scheme he chose to do. But the Lakers went small a lot tonight, and the Suns, I think they took advantage for the most part. I don't know. I mean, but they got the job done. And Ayton, like I said, was huge. I mean, this might have been a different ball game if everything else happened. Let's just pretend DeAndre Ayton had a really bad game tonight. Maybe we're having a completely different conversation. But I thought Ayton was great. And I thought the Suns, after the third quarter, were in full control of this game. There was multiple times where the Suns were up, 15 or more. And then we won the game by 18 points. So I will take it. This was a game full of runs. Again, wasn't the prettiest game. You know, the Suns, like I said, they got punched in the mouth early on, and couldn't hit a shot to save their life. And I'm ignoring the chat right now because there's some trolls in the chat that are claiming to be the Valley podcast. I don't know what's going on with all that, but yeah. So if I'm neglecting the chat, I apologize. But shout out to Amanda who's here, big supporter of mine, and thank you to everybody who's in here. Scott Murphy says if it was 2008, the Lakers would be great. I 100% agree, which is why I went on that rant earlier about how the Lakers are just a bunch of names. But you know what, man? As much as Suns fans might hate me for this, I kind of felt bad for LeBron's ankle injury tonight. I'm not going to lie. I don't wish injury upon any player. And when he went down, man, I was like, oh, shit. So what did you see from LeBron tonight? What did you think of the ankle injury? Do you think he's going to miss any time?
I mean, you never want to see a guy go down, obviously. Like, that's the one thing you don't want to see. I wouldn't be surprised if he missed some time. I don't think it'd be
Not
nearly
a significant amount of time.
Like I don't think it's going to be nearly as long as like what AD's projected to miss and stuff like that. Like it might be like a game, 2 games, something like that.
Podcast on that.
And especially since I think their next game is the Spurs. So I think he could very well sit out that, and then I think their next one is Christmas. He's not going to miss that. Like, I think he probably feels like he has to give, too much to the fans for him to sit out Christmas, unless the game got postponed, which I also think might happen. I mean, the Nets games have been getting postponed.
I know. I hope that doesn't happen to the Suns.
But I mean, we'll see. I mean, in terms of his game tonight, like I said, like he was probably the only Lakers player that really played well. I mean, to be real. I know I troll about LeBron and stuff like on Twitter. You see me doing that, but like there wasn't really much I could say about him today. I think maybe he went a little too crazy on when he actually did hurt his ankle. Like he's like,
he tweaked it.
I mean, yeah.
Sometimes it looks worse than it actually is.
Yeah. But I mean, like you could even say like, oh, what about Westbrook? He dropped 22, 10, and 5, but he really wasn't that great tonight. I know he shot well from the field, but those 7 turnovers, like
I'm a Westbrook defender, and he did not have a great game tonight at all. Not the standard Westbrook game,
His turnovers are, and Skip Bayless is not the best resource you want to use, but I was watching Undisputed the other day, and I watch it just because it's funny, it's comedic and stuff. But one thing he did say, and I probably have to agree with, is that he has the most deflating turnovers in league history. Because just the way that he's so out of control, like so confusing. I think one he threw, like he jumped midair for a shot and then passed it back, and Landry Shamet like snatched up one hand. He had like another one where he came like out of control, did a spin move on 4 guys, and then threw like a one-handed no look pass.
Like, bro, you're not Magic Johnson. Only Magic Johnson can do that.
And then I think Cam Payne stole that one. So like, though that's just like especially deflating, especially in transition too. Like, imagine you get a steal. Like I think one time Ariza got a steal and Westbrook came down and just gave it right back. Yep. So it's like, what's the point,
And with Westbrook's like athleticism and all that like force, it's gonna be an out of control play,
Yeah, and I just think the Lakers, like, I think their motivation's a little better right now without Anthony Davis, and obviously like he's a great player, but didn't seem like he was given really 100% either. But I don't know, like there's still some of that like lingering with them too. Like one of the biggest examples is Rondo. He's probably one of the weirdest, if not maybe the weirdest player ever. Because like when he was with Boston, he was kind of annoying, kind of a gnat, but he was doing everything to win. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then he was with Dallas, and he was almost like against his own team. Same thing with Sacramento. Same thing to an extent with my Bulls when he played that year with us. And then with the Pelicans, he played great. He was good for them. Yeah. The Lakers.
I'm not gonna lie. I've always been a Rondo fan.
I love Rondo. When he came to the Lakers the first time, I mean, that first year wasn't great. Like, do you remember when he sat away from the team, like on that one game, like with the fans and stuff?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was like one of the biggest things. He was getting in a fight with Suns guard Chris Paul like the start of the year. Um, and then
He
the
like
next year,
spit on him or something like that, or
yeah,
something.
and the next year he was great, won the championship. And then the next year the Hawks and then the Clippers in the playoffs, like he was just being annoying. You know, he's kind of against his own team, and now it looks like he's kind of content with where he's at right now. He doesn't care, and it showed tonight. He had two
He,
turnovers, a
yeah.
foul, no points, and he was 0 for 2
Yeah.
from the field. I mean, like he just played awful.
I
Like
even saw a Lakers fan tweet that they were like, I don't ever want to see Rondo, IT, and Westbrook on the floor together again. That was from an actual Lakers fan, too. And it's funny
yeah.
that you bring up the turnovers because after halftime, which, by the way, I want to go on a huge rant later about the TNT halftime show and all them and the broadcasters tonight. But, anyways, the Suns started off on a 7-0 run. Booker started off on fire to start the third quarter. He had 3 threes. Suns were up 10. The Lakers started to turn the ball over a lot, and I think a little bit of that was Russell Westbrook, if not all of Russell Westbrook. And then, in the chat here, yeah, I'm a Suns fan, but what's up with the technical happy refs, especially the first good chunk of the game? I've been defending the referees this year. I think the officiating has gotten a lot better, especially with the rule changes and all that. But tonight, in my opinion, like you tweeted to me, it was the Suns versus the world because I thought the Lakers were in favor of the referees tonight. But I will say this though, the Suns did seem a little chippy. I mean, I think Devin Booker got a technical foul. He was chirping to the refs, and there were, like I said, he was. I feel like Booker was kind of trying to be in the spotlight a little bit too much tonight. But it was just kind of a chippy game, man. I mean, what did you see from the officiating? And it's weird because there was only, I think, 6 or 18 fouls each. And, we were talking about the turnovers too, 16 for the Suns, 15 for the Lakers, but it sure felt like a lot more. So what did you see from the officiating tonight? And do you think it was kind of a chippy game for both teams?
I mean, there's always going to be ref bias toward the Lakers.
Yeah.
But I
Superstars.
I mean, I even saw it against the Bulls. I don't know if you watched when they played the Bulls the other day. Like there was a call, LeBron threw a pass over to I think Westbrook or like Wayne Ellington in the corner. Or no, it wasn't Westbrook because it went off Westbrook's foot out of bounds and they called it our ball. Then LeBron and Rondo and them ran over to the refs and like tried changing the call. Didn't even review it. Didn't even have to challenge it. They overturned the call. Lakers score on that possession, which is just terrible because they got it wrong and then they got points. But yeah, like I feel like there were a lot more soft fouls called like against the Suns, like in favor of the Lakers. Um, I guess the one thing I will say though in defense of the Lakers is the fact that they got a lot of like technical fouls, probably some that shouldn't have been, like the Russell
Yeah.
Westbrook one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you don't know what he said, but it didn't really look like he was saying anything crazy there. But it's not like
I think it was the hand, the
yeah,
hand. Yeah.
and it's not like the Lakers were the only ones because like Chris Paul
Yeah.
got one too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, and then Melo too got ejected.
I just wasn't. I wasn't a fan of the officiating tonight from both ends, in my opinion. That I felt like they were. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the Suns did deserve a lot of the calls, whether it was a technical foul or not. And I don't know. Maybe I thought at the time Westbrook deserved that. I think it was the hand motion, in my opinion. But
I
tonight, I
think
was
that
I was disappointed in the refs.
I think that the refs must have had like some family members at the game.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be at your game tonight, and it's like, oh boy, I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna throw tees everywhere.
I'm gonna eject Mello.
It's like, watch this. I'm gonna give a tee to the smallest guys on both teams.
Logan says Suns haven't lost to the Lakers since the salsa dance. And then I want to get this correct. Somebody that I follow tweeted that the Phoenix Suns have not lost since Devin Booker. Wait, sorry. Let me get this correct. The Phoenix Suns have not lost with Devin Booker in the lineup since October 27th. That is insane.
Harrison Barnes.
What?
The Harrison Barnes game, man.
Oh,
isn't that what it was? Or am I tripping?
Nope. You're right.
All
because
right.
because after that it was the 18 game win streak, and remember Booker missed a little bit of time. So yeah, you're 100% right.
Ever since that game.
I remember I was pissed after that game. I made a video and everything. I was pissed, and after that, they must have watched the video because everything changed after that. Uh, but
They
yeah,
were
man,
watching.
I don't know. Just what a game. And again, it wasn't the prettiest win for the Suns. It wasn't the best game from the Suns, but they got the job done. And I just want to count this too: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with double digit scoring. I mean, that's what we saw a lot in the Charlotte Hornets games. What we've been seeing a lot as of late. The Phoenix Suns have multiple scores with 10 plus points or more every game. It's insane, man. This team is just clicking on all cylinders. Knock on wood. Um, I am literally praying for the Phoenix Suns to stay healthy on and off the court, because obviously we know that there's a huge surge in health and safety protocols and COVID cases and all that. So I'm praying, because the Suns obviously played the Hornets recently, who had kind of an outbreak. The Lakers have had players in and out. So I'm
Chicago
hoping that
Bulls.
the
The
Bulls,
Bulls were like the
yep, I
first.
know.
We
I
got
was literally
screwed.
just gonna say that. And
We
look,
were. God, man.
I'm gonna kind
It
of
is
put
just
you on the
annoying how
spot
you're getting screwed.
here. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. We didn't really like discuss this prior, and I don't want to like talk politics and all that, and vaccines and all that. But what do you have any thoughts on the huge outbreak? And also, did you see Adam Silver's interview with Malika Andrews, who I thought she's been doing a great job, in my opinion? Um, are you concerned about all this? I mean, I don't think the NBA is going to pause or anything like that. Even Adam Silver said it's not going to happen, but just any quick thoughts. We don't have to get into it. I don't want to talk politics and all that, but what are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, I think personally that, well, I thought it was kind of crazy, like with how many of my own Bulls players got out. Like
Facts.
we had 10 out
It
at
was like boom,
once.
boom, boom, boom.
Like I think at one point there was like 24 that were out, and 10 of them were Chicago Bulls. I'm like, dude, NBA is
I would
rigged.
cry.
I
NBA
was
is rigged.
I was all over Twitter. I said, bro, this stuff is rigged. Like
The
the
Bulls were finally good, and the
Bulls
NBA
finally become good, first time since D Rose, and now they want to take us all the way down. You know, we're
facts.
about to maybe make the finals again, first time since MJ want to take us down. But I think maybe part of it is that like, um, some of the players, like, yeah, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I feel like a lot of the players, they want to go out, they want to have fun,
Yeah,
they
you
want
gotta
to do
have a
their own thing.
life, Yeah.
Like I don't know if you saw when they asked Lonzo Ball, like, what are your thoughts about like how you haven't caught COVID yet? And he said, I basically just do my business. Like I come to play, and then I'm just kind of at home chilling.
Facts.
And I mean, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why he hasn't gotten it. I'm kind of like the same way. Probably a big reason why I haven't gotten it, like since it's been around. So I don't know. Like I kind of related to that. But all I'm gonna say is that I think it's a little sus that the Warriors star players have not gotten it. I think that's a little sus. It seems like they're trying to build something right there.
We're on to you,
You know.
Adam Silver. You
Well,
think
I
you're
mean,
slick.
like you think like Durant got it, Giannis got it. It's also really, really sus that LeBron got it, and then the next day they're like, you're good. Same thing with Westbrook. Yo, the same
That
thing happened
was a
with
little
Westbrook too. I almost forgot about that. And then coincidentally, not only did uh, Westbrook get cleared the day of the game, but then they also took out Anthony Edwards. So
and then
I'm
didn't
like, bro, what?
Dwight, I think it was Dwight Howard and somebody else, they were able to play today. They announced it. They said Dwight
Taylor
and
Horton Tucker,
yeah, exactly.
who was the Suns MVP of the game?
Seriously, yeah, he helped us win the game. Like I don't know.
Dwight didn't even play today. Wow, they
I know.
played Jamario Jones over him.
I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on that, because obviously it is a little alarming, but and I guess these same things happening in the NFL and other leagues. And Adam Silver did mention that he is talking to other leagues and he's talking to a bunch of doctors. And I'm sure the NBA knows what they're doing, whether on paper it may not seem like that. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of criticism coming their way. But let's be real, man. They wouldn't have started this season, if they were concerned about this. We kind of saw the same thing happen last year except for this year, it's like record numbers in my opinion, which it is. Didn't they say it was like over 100 players now, which that's insane. But
Yeah,
let's be real. They're not going to shut down. And I actually think it's kind of a good thing. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's a good thing for the players that are like in the G League and guys that are trying to make the NBA. This is a good opportunity
right.
for them. But at the same time, the NBA wants money. They want ratings. They want numbers. And you and me, at least for me, I want to see teams fully healthy for the most part and playing. I want the best basketball possible. So I'm trying. That's my
And
optimistic take about this COVID outbreak in the NBA.
And I will say too, like it's good to see like you get to see some of the players that we remember in the NBA, but
Facts.
they haven't played in a while. I mean, Isaiah
Or they've been
Thomas is
stuck in the
probably
G League. Yeah.
one of them, like with the Lakers too. And then Lance Stevenson got signed today by the Hawks to a 10-day.
Really?
Uh,
I must have missed that.
and one of my favorites is that this guy has been one of my favorite role players ever. He had just never been on the Bulls. Now we just signed him to a 10-day, so he's gonna be with Ursan Ilyasova. So that's gonna be pretty
Oh,
hype. Yeah,
really?
yeah. So I think it's kind of cool to an extent. Like you see some of these
Yeah.
guys that you kind of remember a little bit of, and they can kind of help your team out in a variety of ways. But I will say like one more thing too. It's kind of ironic how the whole COVID thing was the biggest reason why you know Kyrie was out, and then now it's like the whole thing wrapping the Nets into bringing him back. So I don't know. It's just kind of funny. It's like it was kind of his decision, and then they're like, we need you for the away games at this point.
I know we kind of got off topic of the Suns Lakers game, but that was something I did want to talk to you about. And I'm sorry that I didn't let you know ahead of time that we were going to talk about that. But honestly, I did kind of want to get that off my chest. And I do want to address some of the chat here. A burner account, which by the way, I love this guy. He's so funny. He says, "Come on, guys, don't bully the refs. Can't you see they're legally blind?" Which is absolutely true. There were so many bad calls today. And then Logan says, fingers crossed for a healthy, fun game on Christmas. Yes, I am praying for that. I hope games don't get delayed or pushed back because that will kind of ruin the magic of Christmas. Like, let's be real. The NFL has Thanksgiving. We have Christmas, man. Like, I don't know. But thank you to everybody who is in the chat. Shout out to my guy, Hitman X. Longtime supporter of this channel. He's been on this channel once before and the fans loved him. I got to get you back sometime, Hitman X. And, praying none of our guys get sick from the Lakers arena tonight. Exactly. And then, like I said, we played Charlotte recently. They had a bunch of cases and I don't know. It's little bit crazy, but that was kind of my spontaneous conversation. I don't really know if there's much left to talk about in terms of this Lakers game, man. Besides this, I do want to go on a little bit of a rant here, and feel free to shut me up at any point if you want to.
Shut up right now.
Yes, before I say something wrong and get sued by TNT.
Just stop. No.
I do like Reggie Miller. I think he is a good broadcaster at times. He honestly seems like a cool guy. And I forget who the other guy was, but they were clearly rooting for the Lakers tonight. And maybe besides Shaq, the TNT halftime show, especially Kenny the Jet Smith, clearly were rooting for the Lakers. And the referees were in the favor of the Lakers tonight. And it was embarrassing, man. It's just somebody pointed this out. They were like, the Suns are winning by 2, but the TNT broadcast is talking about them like the Lakers are up by 20. It's just Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. It's embarrassing, and that's why it is a good day anytime the Lakers lose. And that's why they're 16-16, and they are just not good. That's my rant. I'm done. Sue me, TNT.
I think that rather than they were rooting for the Lakers, I think they were just rooting for LeBron. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Because, like,
there's no one else on the Lakers.
I mean, they slandered Westbrook several times tonight, and even when I don't know if you showed or if you saw when they first I think brought Isaiah Thomas in the game, and they were saying or I think Reggie even said something and you look at this guy was an MVP candidate a few years ago, and it's now look to where he's fallen, 10-day contract. I mean, that's kind of crummy,
Yeah.
It seems like dude, he worked his way all the way back. And that's all you got to say about him.
I said what I said about the G League players playing in the NBA. I'm like, this is a great opportunity for players like that. So I
But then
agree with
like,
you.
they would go crazy over LeBron. One that should have been an offensive foul. I don't know if you saw it. I think it was his first dunk in the game. The one where he hooked, I think it was either Mikal Bridges or Cam Johnson in the post. I'm like, that should be an offensive foul for one.
Facts. Hmm.
But no, like, and they're like, hey, 37 years old. I probably shouldn't talk about this because I'm already known as like an anti-LeBron, but it's just true, like they're going crazy over him. Like, how about Carmelo Anthony? He's 37 years old. I know he didn't play great today, but they don't give him quite as much consistent love. You know what I mean?
He's been arguably one of the best Lakers this season, if not one of their best scorers. Didn't he have 30 the other
Exactly.
night?
Yeah, I mean, he's been their best shooter all year. He's been their most consistent efficiency shooter all year.
I'm
So.
sorry, I have to interrupt you and read this comment. If I wake up and Geek is under my tree, I would lose my mind. Burner account, I love you, man. All right,
Just
go on.
put a bow on top of your head.
I hope I'm saying this name right. Hans, I hope I said that right. This guy, man, is one of the most positive people on Sun's Twitter. Really become a big fan of mine, and I've been a big fan of his. He says, I love my sons and I love your videos. Have a nice day. Greetings from Germany. Man, that is so cool. We are worldwide, man. We got people from Germany watching us. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just had to address those comments.
No, I was basically done talking. I just think that they go too crazy on LeBron. Like,
Yeah.
okay, now I'll leave this open to the chat. You guys can agree or disagree with me. Do they go too crazy on LeBron, the commentators? If
Let us
not,
know in the comments, guys.
if
Let us
not,
know.
just say like ratio or something, and then I'll get the
Ratio.
memo. Just say quick ratio.
But
But
without
nah,
them, how would we have known that LeBron's foot fell off? Exactly. I agree. Suns get no respect. Last year in the finals was total BS. According to the media, it was. And apparently the Lakers are still title favorites, according to the media. ESPN when LeBron breaks his ankle. Oh my goodness, did you see that? ESPN when the Suns win. Yeah, cool. But here's some Lakers highlights.
oh my gosh, like. I think it was funny, like how ESPN the other night, like in the Timberwolves game, like for one, they kept showing like the play where LeBron actually shoved McDaniels into AD's knee, and I'm like, that's kind of messed up, like you're showing this more than you're showing the other team winning, and I just thought that was crazy. And then they did the same thing, like I think he threw one off someone's head, and then they're like, oh, what are you doing? But they don't like actually. They don't make it seem like that's like a bad play. They're just like, oh, here, classic, so and so, classic Westbrook, or whatever.
Right. Reggie
But yeah,
Miller tonight was like, watch LeBron do the step back three, and then DeAndre Ayton contested it and he missed. I was like, come on, man. Like, I just I was disappointed in the broadcast and I'm sorry.
everyone's saying, yeah, I agree. Yeah, LeBron's overrated. I wasn't saying he was like necessarily overrated as a player. I just think that the media goes too crazy on him.
Someone said, big Suns fan here, but don't talk disrespectful about LeBron, man. Come on, kid. He's insane at 37. Well, so is Chris Paul. So
He is
uh,
insane at 37, but like how many people in history have been talked about
it's just
like
the
this?
media, man. It's the media. I'm
Yeah.
100%. And it's LeBron could be on like the Pelicans, and then the media would be hyping up the Pelicans because LeBron's on the team. Let's be real. It's the
hmm
media.
I mean,
So
Steve Nash got MVP shares. He was top 10 in MVP at age 38. I didn't hear anyone talk about him like
facts.
this, at least. So, and you know that as a Suns fan, so just thought I'd throw that out there.
Let's see. Sorry. They don't because he's simply the GOAT. The NBA won't be as relevant without him. Agreed, though. We need more media. Suns love. I agree
I
with the last
disagree.
part. I agree with the
I
last
disagree with
part.
that.
The NBA will be relevant without LeBron because do you not know of all the other great talented players in our league? Giannis, Devin Booker, everyone on the Chicago Bulls. Like
I would
I could go on and on. Like
I would argue that in whole, like from all the playoffs together, like every series, the best playoffs that I've seen personally is probably the 2019 one, and he wasn't playing then. But you had like great series with like the Blazers Nuggets, the Blazers Thunder, Sixers Raptors, Sixers or Raptors Bucks. Like you had a lot of really good series that year too. Nuggets Spurs, the Warriors Rockets got like a real series, you know. So I don't know. I thought that was probably arguably the best playoff run for like every team. And I mean, he wasn't playing there, so to say that the NBA won't be relevant when he's gone, that's
Yeah,
kind of a lie.
exactly. Jumping from subject to subject here, there's two comments I want to address. But first off, we somehow have fast forwarded to 40 minutes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to Hulk smash that like button. Please subscribe. Check out my guests and my friend Super Mario Hoops 24.
Ooh.
I've been coughing and sniffling a lot because I'm a little under the weather. So if my energy isn't really fully up, I apologize. But here's the comments I want to address here. Talk about Booker's defense. He went from a D minus to a B minus. I agree. Devin, especially in this game, Booker was not too great to start the game on offense or defense and then really picked it up. And I think he knows when to pick it up when it matters. He really has gotten better as a defender, even if it's just contesting shots and just being, putting his hands up and being active. He's been great. And then I agree with this because I was going to talk to you about this. How do you win with a bad shooting night? Answer, it's just Suns basketball, man. I was going to ask you that. Like, the Suns really didn't shoot well, and we talked about this earlier about a really bad first half, and the Suns somehow won. Is the answer because of math? Like, I don't get it how the Suns can have a bad shooting night like this and win. Is it just how the Suns win? They just take over in the second half and win?
I mean, a lot of times it'll work like that. Obviously, you could look at the second game against the Warriors when the Suns just didn't shoot well, and it's like, this is not good enough. Like, you just got to play better. I think that simply, though, the fact that you're playing a team like the Lakers, who isn't a good team, like, they don't really play well, like, you're probably going to be able to get it done. They have a lot of flaws with three-point shooting and free throw shooting and defense, injuries, age. Like, I mean, there's just too much to go around there. So, I mean, they definitely did step it up in the second half. I mean, I think they hit as many threes in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter as they did
Devin
the whole
Booker.
first half, and a lot of that was Booker. So
there was even a heat check. Booker put one up. I think coming off of a fast break, he turned around, just threw it up. That was a heat check because he knew he's on fire. So
I think he started realizing wait a minute, I put up 47 against this team in the playoffs and knocked them out or something. So
shout out to Jose who says subbed. Appreciate that. Drink some tea with honey and lemon, get better faster. Yes. The other day I was putting health and safety protocols. I don't know what happened. I just had a really bad cold. Luckily I am on vacation from work right now, so I'm staying home as much as possible, staying safe, and I'm feeling a lot better because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be doing this live stream. So thank you guys to everybody who liked and subbed. We're kind of just freestyling at this point, man. I think I basically broke down everything.
I just noticed you got like a sun stocking behind you.
Yeah, I put that up before the game. And then if you guys missed it, I got my Son Santa hat on. Let me take off my headphones. Got the Son Santa hat on.
A Santa geek.
And yeah, we're getting Christmassy up in here. We're looking forward to Christmas, man. I'm getting really excited. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We're about 45 minutes in, and there is a couple of things I want to go over. We'll just kind of do this quickly. Let me find it real quick. Devin Booker. Where was it? Here we go. Devin Booker has 2,000 assists now. He becomes the sixth youngest in NBA history to have 9,000 points, 2K assists, trailing only Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, and Gilbert Arenas. So congratulations to Devin Booker for that. And then also we kind of went over this pregame. Some Team USA news. Steve Kerr is going to be the Team USA's national basketball head coach, and his assistant, Monty Williams, along with Eric Spoelstra and Mark Few. Do you have any quick thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's definitely good. I believe all of them, wait, Monty was part of the staff before, correct?
Yes,
At
he's
least recently.
yeah.
Okay, because I know Spolster was, I know Kerr was, um,
Monty
but
did some
yeah,
stuff in like 2016 as well. He's been part of it for a long time.
yeah, I thought he was. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good. I guess that like obviously moving on to next generation, but of course I'm sure like the big thing that people are wondering out of this is that like the next Olympics is like 2024. I believe they
Yep.
even have like uh like a thing on in between Olympics like during the
The
like Winter
winter.
Olympics. Like I
Yeah.
think they have like FIBA because I remember like D Rose did that like when he came back from the meniscus in
And
2014.
I think that's what Monty's been part of, is like the FIBA teams and all that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they'll probably even do one there. And obviously, the big question, the guy that's not going to be there, Greg Popovich, like, is he going to be retired by then
Yeah.
from the NBA? Like, maybe this is his last year,
That's what I'm thinking.
or maybe like, you
Maybe
know,
he's just done.
I think
Not
that he would at least be done before 2024.
yeah.
Like he's got to be then. And I mean, I guess it's kind of like the end of an era, because like it's like the last remaining piece from their titles, from
Right.
1999 all the way until now, and it's been there since what, like 96, 97. I think he was there like the first year. Like his first year was the year I think David Robinson missed a lot of time,
Damn.
and then they got Tim Duncan. That's a long time ago. Um, so yeah, I think that yeah, I don't know though.
I mean, it's a great honor. I mean, I did read Monty Williams' quote. There's a great article on, I think, NBA.com, breaks down like basically every coach that's going to be on that team's resume and their history of Team USA basketball. And obviously, big honor for Monty Williams, who just, I swear to God, that is one of the greatest coaching hires in Phoenix Suns history, because he is just, from day one, Monty Williams has just changed this team. So I'm so happy for Monty Williams. He deserves it. Great coach, great person as well. And I guess to close this out, Super Mario, I think all the games have been played tonight. Let's take a look at the NBA standings watch. Hopefully, this is updated. And this is one of my favorite segments on the live streams. I got to get like an intro for this, the NBA standings watch. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm just kind of reading. Now, obviously, the NBA is probably going to look weird for maybe a month because of all these cases and players being in and out and all that. But still, I mean, this is next man up mentality. You might as well just play. Sorry, I'm just reading something.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah,
trying to.
no, it's all good. So yeah, Brooklyn Nets, they're 7-3 in their last 10. They're 21-9. Your Chicago Bulls are 19-10. How are your Bulls winning, man? I mean, what's going on in Chicago?
Well, a lot of it has been to the surprise of the worst free agent signing, DeMar DeRozan. I can't
The
remember.
worst.
I can't remember who said that. Oh yeah, everybody.
That's what they
Every,
said about Ricky Rubio in 2019. Then he took us all the way to the bubble.
Now
So
I will say like I didn't say it was the worst signing then, but I wasn't too
no,
fond of it. I will
I've heard
admit.
some things. I've heard some
Um,
things.
but no, like literally, league executives voted DeMar DeRozan the worst signing,
And
and
now the
guys like,
Lakers could use him.
yeah, he was rumored to go there. But I think that I know he's had his own past with like depression and stuff. Like he might be depressed if he was with the Lakers. Like let's be real, he looks probably as happy as he's ever been, at least since the days he had Kyle Lowry by his side, who is like his boy. So it's great to see that, and obviously, guys like Levine and Lonzo. Vucevic has started to play a lot better recently too, so that's always really
Good.
good. Um,
I know he was in a slump for a while.
And I think like the main person we're missing right now is Levine. We're also missing Dosunmu, but Levine is supposed to be back by tomorrow. Well,
Good.
that's like that. That's the 10-day limit. I
Yeah.
don't know if he'll play though, because I think we play the Raptors, and now they got like Van Vliet and Siakam and those guys all in protocols, so he might
Good.
be out. But I mean, I think we win that. We go into Christmas 20-10. I think that's a pretty good goal. I don't care if we get the first seed, but as long as we're like top 3, top 4, and we're at least good enough to the point where we have some advantage, and we can maybe sneak up on some teams in the playoffs. I don't know.
Well, the Chicago Bulls are definitely going to be a playoff, you know, possibly a title contender. I mean, they're obviously really good. And I can't wait for when Phoenix Suns play the Bulls because it's going to be a great matchup. Can't wait to go live with you after that game. So don't sleep on the Chicago Bulls. So as I mentioned, Brooklyn Nets are 21-9. Bulls are 19-10. I'm jumping on the Cleveland Cavaliers bandwagon. They're 19-12. They've won 6 in a row,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
they're the feel good story of the NBA, man.
I will say, I think I was wrong about them. You
Yep.
know, because I remember early in the year, I'm like, I think I even replied to one of your tweets. I'm like, yeah, Cavs will be like okay, but they won't be anything better than a play-in team.
I
So
didn't think they'd be this good either, to be
I,
honest.
I
They're
mean,
so good.
I'll take my L there. Of course, it is still early in the season. You
Yeah,
never know what could happen, but
yeah.
at least as of right now, like I'm leaning toward my fair share of the L.
Shout out to the Ty guy if he's watching. He's a Cavs fan. He's an NBA YouTuber like we are. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been on this
Oh,
team's bandwagon for a while. Go ahead.
I will say too, Sports Wikipedia reminded me in the comment section. He said Cavs have been the most surprising team. Yeah, and he needs to win. Their head coach needs to win or not rookie of the year. God, I'm all over the
Coach
place
of the
right
year.
now. Yes, coach of the year, JB Bickerstaff.
Great coach.
It does not need to be Billy Donovan. And if people watch Bulls games, they'd realize that. Like that's the
And
one
you're a
thing
Bulls
I'm.
fan saying
Yeah,
that.
I'm a
And
Bulls fan.
I'm a Billy Donovan fan saying that.
Yeah, and that's great, but he's my biggest like he's the thing that scares me the most in the playoffs. Like I have no idea what to expect out of
Is
him.
it his rotations? Is it his
He's
decision
just
making? Is
he's
it
just bad at making adjustments. He's
yeah,
really bad at making adjustments. Like there's been multiple games. The Portland one is a great example. We were up huge in that game, and then we went small, and then
right.
they start, mounting a comeback. I think Nurkic was going crazy, and then he's like, "What are we gonna do? We're just gonna sub in one guy, Derek Jones Jr. at center, who's 6'5", got killed. Like
Poor
we
Phoenix
literally got
Suns.
killed down there. It was horrible. But there's other games too where he's done that, and I'm like, I don't know what you're
Excuse
doing.
me.
But yeah,
Yeah.
he scares me a lot. He does not need to win Coach of the Year. I'll actually, as a Bulls fan, I'll probably be upset if he does.
A burner account says seeing Rubio on the Cavs with a sad face. Rubio has been great for them, and that was such an underrated pickup. I didn't even know how big of a pickup that was going to be. But yeah, shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are playing great. I'm not saying they're going to be a title contender, but they'll be a hard, first round team to play. They could even make it to the semifinals. I mean,
Well, if they
that's what
do
you
and they got to play that 2 seed, well, then that's as far as they're going, I
like.
will say.
That's what I'm saying. Like you, as a Cavs, if anybody out there is a Cavs fan and you're watching, it's like you gotta appreciate this winning while it lasts. And if you do make the playoffs, just be happy that you're in the playoffs, win a couple games, and then get eliminated by the Bulls in the second round. Sports Wikipedia
Exactly.
says Jarrett Allen keeps improving. Jarrett Allen an all-star this year? I think so.
He should be. And
Should
honestly,
be.
Darius Garland has a
Hmm.
chance as well. But Jared Allen, like, if I were to make my All Star team, I went through it the other day. Like,
I gotta go
who,
through mine
who,
soon.
who I'd maybe pick. Like, I was thinking about it, and he was one of the 12. So
Yeah.
I think he
Shout
should
out to
make it.
Darius Garland. Like I knew he was a good scorer and I knew he had so much potential, but like he's just been great. And he's been
People
stepping
tried
up as
to
Colin Sexton's been out.
people tried to ruin him though because like they're not patient anymore.
Yeah.
His rookie year was not great, and I remember
And he
people were
didn't
like,
he got injured in college too, right? He didn't play that many games.
uh, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But people were like all on him, saying like, "Oh, they need to trade him. He's not going to be good. He's going to be a bust." Like, you do realize how many years it took some of these guys. Like, Steph Curry wasn't an All Star until year 5. Scottie Pippen was the ninth
Devin
man on the
Booker.
Bulls. Devin Booker, yeah, another
So
one.
many
I mean,
people.
I mean, he wasn't terrible though. I mean,
Yeah.
the second year he dropped like 70. So, there's that. But like, Kobe came off the bench and started his career. Like,
Hmm.
there's a lot of guys you could look at that didn't start off that amazing. Giannis, another one,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
Giannis got outscored by Zaza Pachulia in an elimination game against my Bulls where we beat him by 54 in the playoffs. So think about how far he's come since. That's
That,
crazy.
and you know what? With all due respect to the guy that left that LeBron comment, that just goes to show how great this league is. And the future is so bright for this league. And there's so many great players, so many great teams. And yeah. Let's keep looking here though. The Miami Heat have been playing pretty well. 19-13. They're 6-4 in their last 10. The Bucks, 19-13. But I feel weird going over the standings tonight because it's like, again, half of the league is out. It feels like the Sixers are 16-15. The Wizards have been brought back down to reality. They're 16-15. Just quick question here. We don't have to spend too much time on it. Are the Wizards a playoff team? Like they're not winning. They started off 10-3 and they beat some good teams. And then they've been losing ever since. It feels like. Are they
Yeah.
a playoff team?
I mean, they'll definitely make. I think they should make the
They're the
play in.
seventh seed right now.
And I mean, I'm looking at the teams below them. Like, I mean, Charlotte's gotten screwed. Like they've had players out, so they'll probably pass them. But these other teams don't scare me. Like
Boston,
Boston,
Toronto.
Boston is too up and down.
Yep.
Atlanta is the biggest fraud team in the East. I know everyone likes to clown the Knicks, but they, for one, the Hawks got way further than the Knicks last year. Everyone said the Hawks beat them because of talent, but they're like right there, right outside the
Right.
play-in. Like what's up with this team? So they're the biggest
7
frauds.
to like what 12 could all possibly make the playoffs.
I'd say 13.
Maybe.
I wouldn't count out the Pacers, even though
Yeah, I'm
they
like
probably won't
somehow
make
they have
it.
13 wins. I'm like, how's that possible? The Pacers have 13 wins.
It's crazy that they lead the NBA, and I was checking, they lead the NBA in first half points, first half scoring. They're last in second half scoring. If they could just close out games, their record would probably be flipped, and if that's the case, they're probably sitting in the 4 seed. So I think that they definitely have a chance, but they got to learn how to close out games. Like that's just
If
huge.
they don't blow everything up at the trade deadline.
Exactly.
A burner account says my all-star team sticks: Jalen Smith, Bull, Isaiah Thomas, Cody Zeller, Trevor Ariza. That's the best all-star team of all time. Let's move to the Western Conference real quick, and then we'll close it out. Obviously, the Phoenix Suns 25-5. Golden State Warriors 25-6. Jazz have been playing great. They always seem to be playing great during the regular season. 21-9. They're
I
eight
will
and
credit
two.
I
Their
will
last
credit
10.
the Wizards though. They just beat them. They
Yeah,
just beat the Jazz the other day, so maybe they're not done
I
with
heard that
their.
was a bad loss for the Jazz too. I
It
heard they didn't
was.
shoot good.
Hmm.
um, Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies, man. They were playing good without Ja Morant. I think he just came back. They're
And they
19 and
lost to the
13.
Thunder. Then they lost to the Thunder, so he ruined them. That's what they're all gonna say now. But yeah,
Um,
they're gonna be good. Like
I'm just kind of looking at 7 through 10. You got the Lakers somehow 16-16.
yeah,
Maverick, Timberwolves, Kings, Blazers, Spurs. I'm just like,
the
it's gonna get
Blazers.
crazy.
The Blazers haven't been playing amazing, but Damian Lillard is. I don't know. He might win Player of the Week. Like because
Yeah.
I think he's probably been like the one of the best players recently. Like he's finally owned up to the fact that like, dude, I was sucking early on, but he's
I think
played
I
great.
saw something. He's averaging like 30 something in his last 3 games, maybe more than that.
He dropped like I think 43 the other night. I think he dropped
Damn.
39 tonight, and I think he dropped
Yeah.
38 the game before that. That so I think he's going off now. I'm kind of disappointed with the Clippers though.
Okay. I'll hear your
Um,
thoughts on that, and then we'll close it out.
I I'm disappointed with them because like I feel like for them to have like that self pride of like being the team in LA, right? And
Right.
especially since like they don't have Kawhi for who knows how long this season, And I know they haven't had Paul George recently, although he just did come back the other day. But you lose a game to the Thunder, and then you turn around and lose to the Spurs, and they've lost 3 in a row
DeJounte
now.
Murray's been playing out of his mind lately, by the way.
He has, but it's the Spurs. Like they're not
It's
gonna make any
DeJounte Murray,
noise.
Keldon Johnson, and that's it.
Like all those teams from 12 down in the West. I mean, unless like Zion came back tomorrow and he's
Right.
the same Zion we know,
Right.
none of those teams are making any noise, even in the play-in.
Even then, I think the Pelicans season is lost, even if Zion came
Well,
back fully healthy.
they are only 2 games back right now, the 10 seed, so you never know. But I think that mostly speaking, like those teams down there aren't doing anything. They lost to both of them. One of them
Right.
was on their home court. Like you gotta win those games. And I think they got another one against the Kings tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm predicting they're going to lose. I'm predicting that the Clippers are going to lose tomorrow, just because like they don't seem like, I don't know, they don't play like they care.
Right.
And it's kind of annoying, like just watching as an NBA fan.
Well, that's fair. Super Mario Hoops, man. I hate to cut this short, even though we went live for an hour. Thank you so much for joining me, man. And by the way, to everybody who is watching, we still got like 24 people. Sorry if I sounded like sick and sniffly and coughing, and sorry if my energy wasn't up. I take these live streams a little too seriously, but in the end, nobody really cares. So thank you so much, man, for joining me, bringing me your expert Chicago Bulls analysis and really just your NBA mind. I love the way your NBA mind works. So let the people know where they can find you. And then what do you got going on for the holidays, man? What's going on?
Yeah, I'll even leave a comment in the chat with my channel. It's Super Mario Hoops 24.
Everyone go subscribe right now.
I do like a weekly show every week.
Robert Nichols says I care. Thanks, Robert. You're a real one, man.
But yeah, like I do like a weekly show every week talking about some stuff NBA.
Baloney basketball.
Yeah. This week it should be fun because I'm planning to have my longtime best friend on the show. So that's going to be exciting.
Let's go.
But also, yeah, like I do like NBA talks and NBA what ifs. I got a few in the works as well. Just trying to get through this work week and then Christmas. And then hopefully that next week I can start working on a lot of stuff. Like I got all this stuff planned.
Let's go.
And then, nah, man, I think this was a good stream. It was good to be back on. I mean, I think we hadn't streamed together in like about 2-3 weeks.
Exactly. So there's lots of stuff to talk about.
A lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it went good. And then, thanks again for having me. You asked me too, like, what are my Christmas plans?
Yeah, what's going on for Christmas? You got anything going on with the family?
Usually on Christmas, like, I'll spend like the morning, like, at my dad's house, and we'll like chill out there and whatever. Then around like noon or like 1-ish, head over to grandma's, gotta open some gifts there, play some bingo. That Christmas fudge as always.
Take a nap on the couch.
Exactly. And then after that, go to my mom's house, and then we're kind of hanging out over there and stuff like that. It's usually kind of like more chill there and stuff, but yeah, I mean that's basically a rundown of my Christmas. I kind of am at like 3 different stops there, but
that's
yeah.
Awesome,
How about the Santa Geeks Christmas?
Well, when I did live in Phoenix, a lot of my family has moved across the country. But when I did live in Phoenix, we kind of did the same thing. Like we'd start, my parents' house, we'd open gifts early and do whatever, watch some NBA Christmas Day basketball. Then we'd go to my grandma's, have a good time and all that. But since I live in the Mid-South now, and it's just my family, we're just going to wake up early, open gifts. I got 2 videos planned for Christmas Day, by the way, you guys. So I'll probably after Christmas festivities are done, probably just be recording videos. So we're really looking forward to Christmas. And
I think I'm gonna upload this week's episode on Christmas Eve, so you guys can all check out my episode Christmas Eve, and you got Santa
Go
Geek here on Christmas. I think that's got to be the nickname. You know,
Santa Geek.
you gotta go by Santa Geek around the holidays and stuff.
If you knew me in person, man, you know how festive I am. Like all before I went on this my job is on vacation right now because I work in childcare and all that, but I was dressing up and being all jolly and festive and trying to spread that Christmas cheer. And I don't mean to preach to you guys here, but I tweeted this out last night and I mean it. You guys, I used to work in retail. There's lots of people that work in food and in the medical service and in retail. Be nice to people, guys, please. Just be nice to people. Say please, say thank you. Start a conversation. Ask people how they're doing, and just try to spread that holiday cheer. Let's have a good Christmas, you guys. Let's have a good holidays. And burner account says the MVP is Super Mario, and the GOAT is Sons Geek. Well, thank you, burner. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
Who was in the chat, who was engaging. Thank you to everybody who was leaving comments. And you guys are all awesome. You guys are all the real MVPs. And yeah, guys, that's it. That's all I got. Have a blessed holidays, everyone. Have a very Merry Christmas. And maybe we'll see you guys before the new year. I'm going to try to do some live streams before the new year, hopefully. And like I said, Christmas Day, 2 videos. So get ready, you guys. And as always, make sure to Hulk smash that like button. And please subscribe for everything Phoenix Suns. If it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.